CBSSports.com. Bold predictions for the Browns. Here's one of them. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt will each rush for 1,000 yards this season. What do you think, Tim Bielik?
Ooh, that's pretty bold. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that at least Nick Chubb should be able to get 1,000 yards. He did it in 12 games last season, and they actually had similar carry numbers. I'm actually looking at it right now. Kareem Hunt had 198 in 16 games, Chubb 190 in just 12. So certainly they're both extremely talented, and they have the ability to get 1,000 yards. And the funny thing that kind of lingers in there is the fact that we have the 17th game. So that's that extra opportunity for whoever needs to get 1,000 yards to go get it. I know Kareem Hunt only had about 841. He came up short of that mark, far short of that mark. Chubb was about 1,067. Certainly he plays 16 games. He's got more, but if those carries are split more 50-50, I think between the two of them, then you look at the average carries per game, Chubb was 15.8, Hunt 12.4. Say Hunt gets about 2 more carries. That's about 8 yards a game. That's closer to 900 yards. He would have to break a couple longer runs to really get there, but certainly I would at least say like 20-25% chance, and certainly that I think qualifies as a bold prediction.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, I don't know that, and you kind of touch on it, are they going to get enough carries each to get 1,000? Well, the run game coordinator, Stump Mitchell, was asked about them each getting 1,000 yards. He said that was a goal last year. Here is what Stump Mitchell said about Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb each getting 1,000 yards in a season.
Pretty close. Well, I think it was mostly due to health. Once Nick got hurt, the amount of times we ran the ball was reduced probably about 10 to 15 times a game, because we did not have that guy that could come in and take the place of Nick, didn't have that type running style. Coach Stefanski was going to have Kareem have a limited amount of touches that he thought would be successful, both run and pass, and that was the reason. But we have to keep both of those guys healthy, and if that be the case, and we improve some upon our reads from last year, it'll happen.
And that's Stump Mitchell on each of them getting 1,000 yards. And coach is going to say, yeah, if we read a little bit better, we'll get more yards. But that's kind of the mindset from the guy who is coaching them.
Yeah, I mean, he brings up a good point that obviously when Chubb went down with the injury, they probably had to throw a little more. And I do kind of have the suspicion that, with the emergence of Donovan Peoples-Jones with a healthier Odell Beckham Jr., coming off the ACL, that maybe they start to throw more than they did a year ago if they want to go 3 receivers as well. Now, that takes away carries from Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but what it also does is if you have Odell Beckham on the field, you have a speed threat that teams have to respect. That pulls guys away from the line of scrimmage. That can lead to bigger big play opportunities for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Certainly, if you have fewer guys in the box, you got a better chance of a back getting to the second level. We know both those guys can break tackles fairly frequently. So it may be a situation where they have fewer carries per game potentially, but they might be more efficient carries, more yards per carry or whatever. Maybe some longer runs. I know their longest run of the season, Nick Chubb's was 59, Kareem Hunt's was 33 yards. So not exactly, long distance touchdowns like we've seen from Chubb each of his first 2 seasons. But certainly if you have, that passing game on the field that can really threaten teams and space them out with speed and now 3 quality receivers, you can open up lanes more for that running game. It's just complimentary football.